Okay, what's good, everybody? My name is Vic Vega, and I'm back for another video. Today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about this job I used to have. My time at working in a housekeeping job, I would like to talk to you guys about that. So here we go. When I was working at this job, I was working in housekeeping. I was working in public area attendant, working as a house person, room attendant. Everything was fine at the beginning of this job. Everybody's happy. Everybody's living happily ever after. Sunshines and rainbows, bunny rabbits, unicorns at the beginning of this job. However, things started going downhill. Majority of the co-workers I used to work with in housekeeping, majority of those people quit their jobs early in their career. So earlier in their career, they quit the job because the job was just too demoralizing. It was toxic. There was majority of those housekeepers, they were basically like fucking 40-year-old toxic ass motherfuckers, always hating on 20-year-olds who have the energy to complete the housekeeping jobs they were tasked to do. However, basically, when you're like 40 years old and you're still toxic, you basically suck at life. Well, it sucks to be you if you're basically 35 years old, 49 years old, 45 years old, still hating on young people at a job. It just basically shows how ignorant you really are. I just can't, fuck with these people because majority of the people at the job, I hated them. I hated majority of them. But because, when you're working in teams and your mental health is still getting worse, that's a big sign that you have to quit this job. I was so happy that I quit this job in early 2026. They were like so hard to please, they were so fussy, they were so toxic. Like they were basically suck at life. So I managed to quit the job at 25 years old. I'm now trying to be a content creator, trying to become a famous rapper, trying to work hard at what I do. Wanted to love to go and chase my dreams so badly. So it's not the end of that. There was like about 40 housekeepers working. Majority of them just working this 9 to 5 job. They were always gossiping about each other. They were always gossiping about each other in housekeeping. However, I didn't get into any of that bullshit because I was always like eating my lunch alone. I was always working alone. Yeah, I was mostly working alone. I was not working majority as a housekeeper. I was working as a house person. House person is the person who's always stripping the rooms. The house person is always the person who's always taking out the rubbish, cleaning. No, he's not the one he never cleans, but he always like helps people with topping up linen and stuff when they run out from their trolleys. Yeah. When I was working at this job, there was this one person I hated the most. There was the general manager. This general manager was the biggest hater I ever saw in my motherfucking life. I hated his guts. Hated him so badly. However, the general manager was I used to like him. I used to like him. I thought he was a good person, but he just showed his true colors. In the end, he showed his true nature. He started, hating on me behind my back. He started talking, gossiping behind my back to all these other people as well. The housekeeping team was always gossiping about me, always a lot. I just ignored them. Yeah, it was very toxic working at this job. But I would like to say is that when I was ignoring this person, the general manager at this job, he would always get upset when I ignored him. When I ignore him, he would get upset because I didn't speak to him. Because the only reason why I didn't want to speak to him, because I hated his guts. I hated him because he stabbed me in the back. He was a backstabber. He betrayed me. But I filed a complaint to my housekeeping manager, executive housekeeper, and he told him off. He told the general manager off. He finally stopped talking to me. Back then, this was before I quit the job. I quit this job. He stops talking to me, the general manager, and I was still not happy that he was always walking around backwards and forwards. And at the hotel, he was always walking backwards and forwards. Fuck is you doing? What the fuck are you doing, man? I know you're busy trying to or go to a meeting or go to an office or just talk to a random bunch of people. Yeah, it was fucking, you know, it was toxic working at this job. However, I worked at this job for 2 years, from January 2024 to January 2026. 2 years. So, yeah, there's still more to talk about, but this person was basically Indian. When you're Indian, no disrespect, but Indian people are always aggressive. They're they try to act tough, but somehow majority of them they just can't fight for shit. Honestly, annoying as a motherfucker, but when you fuck with a Māori, game over for you. Or especially if you're Samoan, game over for you. But yeah, so I didn't choose violence. I just used my words. But I used to be a violent person back then, but I wasn't happy with what I've did in the past. But yeah, I just wanted to mature myself, not become a violent person. Yeah, I wish I could have, punched this motherfucker so badly, but I moved on. But however, if this video offends you so badly, then I feel sorry for you, boy. But I managed to quit the job. I quit this job January 2026. People started, new housekeepers started coming along. There were new housekeepers, there were new food and beverage attendants working, but the hotel still remains miserable. So I had one favorite coworker. She left the job before me. I was pretty sad when she left the job. She quit the job. And so I decided that I wanted to quit the job as well. I quit this job because the general manager was such a piece of shit. And however, the hotel, they used to always have this award. The award is called Employee of the Month. Employee of the Month award. Oh wait, yeah. The general manager was always ignoring me. He was always being so shady. When there was that Employee of the Month, he was always shady. He would always bully me at this job. So I never got the Employee of the Month award. I never got the Employee of the Month award, but that award don't mean shit. However, it was just when you get Employee of the Month award, it's only for your darlings. It's only for the people who are not hardworking. Employee of the Month is not hardworking. It doesn't get you like if you're working a hard ass job, don't expect to win Employee of the Month because they only vote the people who are their best friends. They only vote for the people who are your kissing ass, like motherfuckers like sucking dick, kissing ass all the time. So I just felt like, you know what? I've had enough of this shit. Don't ever ask me to go back to this award show again. No, not award show. Don't ever ask me to go back to this event again. Watching you piece of shit assholes winning the award while I don't win an award. I was meant to win this award, but nah. They basically hated my guts, especially the general manager. He hated my guts so badly. I don't know why. I just feel like my hard work pissed him off so badly. My hard work. Yeah. It's just I feel like Employee of the Month, they should give the Employee of the Month award to the people who are actually working very hard at this job, not just for to vote for your best friends or he's the homeboy, he's my best friend. He should get the award because he's my best friend. He should get the award because I love him. I love kissing his ass. Like shut the fuck up, man. Get that shit the fuck out of here, dude. I was so happy I was going to win the award. I was actually going to win the Employee of the Month award, but they stopped presenting that award. They stopped presenting that award so badly. They removed Employee of the Month award and nothing happened. They were gatekeeping this bullshit, honestly. So when I found out Employee of the Month, they stopped presenting that stupid award, I told my housekeeping manager, I said to him, do you know what happened to Employee of the Month? He said, they stopped it. New management has taken over. So what the fuck was this waiting around for? It took like what all this back and forth shit at this motherfucking job. It was so immature, childish. I hated these motherfuckers so badly. So yeah, quitting this job was the only thing I ever did. However, for those who are working a stupid 9 to 5 job, if you're working a 9 to 5 job, don't expect these motherfuckers to, you know, give you validation, give you an award. They're not going to give you an award. They're just going to take advantage of your work performance. They're going to be taking advantage of your work ethic. They'll look at you like a piece of shit, and you still don't get no reward. Don't expect these assholes anything, especially when you're sucking dick on these managers so badly. I hate these motherfuckers, man, straight up. But I'm gonna just be cool. I don't want to choose violence. If I choose violence, violence, I'm a violent person. Don't choose violence. But yeah, I just felt like I could have chose violence, but I don't want to get filed a lawsuit, go to jail for knocking people out. But yeah, because I don't play honestly. But I honestly wish, yeah, I wish things were different. I wish things were different, honestly. But yeah, if you're working a 9 to 5 job, don't expect anybody to suck your dick, honestly. Well, So I left the job in housekeeping on January 2026. And then months later, I got an email from the hotel because they were not supposed to be sending me emails because I already quit the job. They sent me an email. Once I read the email on Gmail, I scrolled through the email, I read the email, then I found out this general manager, he quit the job as well. There was a new general manager now. This guy quit the job. When I found out that he quit the job, I was so happy. I was so happy that he left the job. I was very happy. I never felt this happy in my life that this general manager quit the job and there was a new manager there to take over. So once I heard about it, when I saw it, I started laughing. Oh my God, I actually laughed, you know? Oh, I started laughing so hard. I found out that he quit the job. However, he probably found another job. Because even if he did find another job, if he did find another job, I wouldn't give a flying fuck. He just probably gonna work another job and still become miserable. Because this dude is like in his 30s and he's still working miserably. Honestly, working a miserable life. He's a miserable person. And I found out he's a Gemini. I don't fuck with these niggas. I hate this motherfucker so badly. However, that's my story. However, it was true what I said. I'm autistic and I can remember a lot of things in my life. I saw a lot of things and I can remember everything that happened in my life. So I was happy. I was very happy that the general manager quit the job and someone else took over. So yeah, that's that's how I quit the job. I don't know. That's how I quit the job. Happy that this whole bullshit is finally over. But somehow I'm trying to move on now. I'm going to be moving on, find something different. But you know, especially this job, I got tired of that. I just got tired of that. I got very tired. I got tired of these people, you know, gossiping about each other. 40-year-old toxic motherfuckers living a miserable life if you're 40 years old or 30 years old, still living miserable. We don't need none of that. We don't need none of that. None of that, obviously. So, what I've learned from this job, what I've actually learned from this job, I've learned that working a 9 to 5 job is not going to get you anywhere. Working a 9 to 5 job is going to ruin your mental health. Working a 9 to 5 job, there's always co-workers hating on you. They're not your friends, they're your biggest haters, especially grown people who are 30 years old and 40 years old. They're your biggest haters, hating on 20-year-olds. So, what did I learn from this job? I learned a lot. Especially co-workers are your biggest backstabbers living in the past. But fuck that, you know? So yeah, I've learned a lot. So I learned a lot. Working 9 to 5 jobs is just not worth it. Well, it's still good, well, especially working full time, but don't make any friends at all. Don't make, you know, don't live in the past for most of your life. Don't let these people destroy your life, you know. They'll destroy it themselves. But yeah. Yeah. So I just feel like most of these co-workers at this hotel, they all live happily ever after. But what happens behind the scenes, they live a miserable life. Most of these co-workers, what happens behind the scene, they go through a lot of bullshit in their life. But I don't care. So yeah, soon karma came back to bite him in the ass. He's working another shitty job someplace else. I wouldn't give a fuck. So yeah, I was so happy that he quit the job. I was very happy. So yeah, that's about it. However, we are going to be doing another video soon. In the next video, I'll see you guys. Until then, my name is Vic Vega, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video. But we'll see what happens, if I'm lazy or not. But peace out.